EagleWorks is not just a pitch competition. It really is the start of a new career, a new way of thinking. It's going to open your eyes in ways you never thought possible. And I'm not just saying that, that's the truth.
Welcome to the EagleWorks podcast. I'm Michael Akins, Director of EagleWorks and your podcast host. Today, we'll be zooming out a bit from the nuts and bolts of the competition. Instead, we're diving into the heart of why participating in EagleWorks will benefit you, your community, and potentially the world. Maybe you have an idea, but you're still on the fence. Or maybe you think you aren't the right person, major, or type that EagleWorks is looking for. Well, this episode is for you. By the end of this episode, we're going to get you registered. So let's get started.
Hey, my name is Ashlyn Wilden. I am the Market Building Manager at Launch Tennessee.
I've known Ashlyn since she was a freshman at Tennessee Tech.
I double majored in finance and economics and came back to do my MBA actually, and cannot say enough good things about it. But really, my favorite part of anything was the EagleWorks competition.
Ashlyn got involved in EagleWorks early in her college career. She participated in 3 consecutive years of competitions, and now she's
the Market Building Manager at Launch Tennessee, which is a public-private partnership. So at Launch Tennessee, I work on a couple different initiatives. We have our Launch Tennessee internship program, which stretches throughout the summer months and basically connects college students to startups and entrepreneur centers across the state. I get to work on a couple different other things like our virtual entrepreneurship program, which connects people in rural areas to entrepreneurship programming. Work on the Bundled Initiative, which connects startups and existing companies to resources to accomplish their next milestone. And I have the opportunity to work with our network partners across the state. So we have 7 different entrepreneur centers and 4 mentor networks, and 1 partner that's Bunker Labs serves veteran entrepreneurs to basically make sure that no matter where you start your business, you have the resources to get it off the ground and be successful.
Ashlyn knows what it takes to compete in EagleWorks. She's been through it and come out the other side with not only connections, experience, and knowledge, but as she tells it,
that pitch competition at EagleWorks basically brought me through to my next internship, which then led to Launch Tennessee. But that had not been possible had I not met the people throughout EagleWorks. It all started off with really having an interest in wanting to do product development. At the time I was a freshman. I didn't know a single person on campus. I didn't have any friends. And starting off in the engineering college, I was getting to know more about the different majors and internships. And I stumbled across a resource that someone told me I really needed to meet, who is Mr. Michael Akins. And sat down in Michael's office, and he said, well, have you heard about the EagleWorks pitch competition? I think this may be something that is a lot of interest in. Hey, you meet some great people, and if you have an idea, you really can take it off the ground. So why don't you just check this out? And from there, I joined a Facebook group. I messaged random people that were on the feed that had ideas and were looking for teammates, and ended up meeting 3 chemical engineering students. So from there, we decided to go through the competition. We competed with a social entrepreneurship idea. And we really stumbled along the way, just learning really what customer discovery is. You come up with an idea, you think it's great, but do other people think it's great besides, your mother and your brother and your sister and your friend, in the hall across you? So really going through the process of not only fleshing out what that idea was, but is this something that could be a viable business model? So EagleWorks took us through from 0 to 100 and competed in the process. I think we placed 3rd, I want to say, that year. We didn't make it into the final round, but the most important thing was that we found a killer team.
She didn't win the first year she participated, but
from there, I decided that EagleWorks was my thing. And so from there, it kind of ignited a little fire in me. I worked with one of the team members from our first year competition, and we came up with an idea that we pitched the next 2 years.
She then spoke about the skills she learned in EagleWorks and how those have transitioned into her professional life.
I think the biggest competitive advantage I had from competing in EagleWorks, well, I'd say twofold. Number one is that I had the chance to work with other majors. I worked with people that thought completely different than I did, that had different skill sets, and I had to be able to communicate my ideas or my thoughts with how that their brain's functioning. Because let's take an app, for example. If I'm looking at the app, I'm thinking of my user experience walking through the front end of the app. This is what it looks like. This is where the buttons go to. But my teammates thinking about the backside, the back end. How do I code this? Where does this button link to this? Is that even possible? And if you don't have those diverse skill sets on your team, you're not really positioned, I think, to be successful in the workplace, where you're constantly working with new partners, new teammates, and you have to be able to communicate what you're working on in an effective manner. I'd also say another skill that is so valuable is presentation skills. Really practicing a pitch is something you're going to carry with you forward for years to come. I, on a daily basis, have to present, come up with pitches for new ideas that are going to be affecting entrepreneurs across the state, involving people that may not be familiar with the idea. How do we get them on board? Another important thing is the individuals that you meet throughout the competition, really collaborating with other professors that I never had a course with, never had a class with. Getting to know them is also really important as you continue to grow your network, because once you graduate, you leave tech, you may carry this idea forward, and there's definitely potential to be able to grow this into a complete company where you are the founder, CEO, and creating your own tomorrow. But there's also a chance that you want to go on and work on something else innovative. Maybe you want to work for a startup company. You really are exposed to a number of connections that you're not going to meet anywhere else on campus. And after EagleWorks, if you continue to move your idea forward, it's only the beginning. Launch Tennessee has our student edition pitch competition, which happens at our 3686 festival that brings over usually about 1,200 entrepreneurs, investors, founders, ecosystem builders to Nashville, Tennessee. And so this is another place that not only are you getting visibility now across the Southeast, but being able to win additional prize money to carry your business forward. EagleWorks is not just a pitch competition. It really is the start of a new career, a new way of thinking. It's going to open your eyes in ways you never thought possible. And I'm not just saying that, that's the truth.
Ashlyn's story and her journey through EagleWorks and into her career isn't the lone example of success. There are many others who have found a purpose and passion through competing in this competition. And guess what? You can be one of them. So what's holding you back? Even if you're not 100% sold on your idea, but you know that this is something you want for your life, you owe it to yourself to register. Nothing happens by accident. And if you know that you want to be a part of this, that you have an idea or a skill that is useful to the process of entrepreneurship, pause this episode and go to bit.ly/EagleWorks21 register. Again, that's bit.ly/EagleWorks21 register. And now, mark your calendars. Here's some upcoming dates. Join us in person on Wednesday, March 3rd for the Business Model Canvas Workshop. Be sure to see the website for more details. The individual and team registration deadlines are March 31st. If you're not registered by the 31st, you will not be eligible to compete in this year's competition. So make sure you register as soon as possible. The individual registration is just a head count for us. It lets us know that you are interested in competing. The team registration deadline, which is also March 31st, is for after you've established your team and you're committed to competing. So note, even if you don't have a team, you'll still need to register by the 31st for the individual registration and also complete your team registration by the 31st. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening. To stay connected and up to date on all things EagleWorks, check back here every week leading up to the competition for new episodes of the podcast, and be sure to follow us on Instagram @TNTechEagleWorks. If you haven't already, please share this podcast with your friends and subscribe on Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, or wherever you get yours. For more information like contest details, full schedule, judging rubric, and FAQs, you can always visit tntech.edu/EagleWorks. This podcast is hosted and produced by me, Michael Akins, and developed by Tennessee Tech students. This episode was written and edited by David Gorchoff, with research and instructional design by Peyton Womack. Closed captioning support for our YouTube channel is provided by Kenzie Potter. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with a new episode.